Can you relate to this? Chances are you can, because this is not so uncommon. You're moving to the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, which is pretty large metroplex. Over 8 million people call Dallas home. And we rank number 4 in the largest metroplexes in the country, right behind New York, LA, and Chicago. So it stands to reason that once you decide to come here, you might get a little off track. I was helping a family and they were locked in. I mean, they knew they were wanting to move west of the metroplex. Then once they got here, they saw the option. Now it's east. Well, what about north? What about south? I mean, they were just like all over the map, literally. So I decided to create this video to share with you the differences in east and west of our DFW Metroplex. And I'm not part of the Tourism Bureau nor the Chamber of Commerce for any of these cities, communities, or suburbs. I'm not the mayor. I don't care where you choose to live, but I do care that you are familiar enough with our different areas so you can choose a place that will support your lifestyle, support your price range, and of course, schools, if that is a consideration. And honestly, schools are always a consideration, even if you don't have school-age children, because it will greatly impact your resale value. And on that note, let's begin. East versus west. Are you ready? And in this video, we're not going to tour the big, pretty, fancy homes. We've done that plenty. You've seen plenty of those videos, but it's not going to be as fun necessarily optically, because I really want to expose you to different areas. So when you really start to decide where you want to live, you at least know whether it's east or if it's west, because there are totally different vibes. East is more of the Dallas side. East is where it's going to be a faster pace. West, slow and easy. It's going to be a much slower pace. It's just a more relaxed environment. But whether you're east or west, you're in Texas. So you're going to hop in your car and drive wherever you want to go. So hopefully by the end of this video, you at least have a perspective of what you can see or what your life would be, the prices of the homes in general, and the quality of education your student will receive, because even if you don't have school-age children, resale is going to be important, and so would that school system. Oh, by the way, if this is your first time to this channel, subscribe, share, and give us a thumbs up. Now I'm going to explain to you the boundaries we're going to choose for the purpose of this video. I cannot tell you every community, city or suburb. For one, I don't have the stamina, and two, you wouldn't have the patience for me to cover all of these different areas. So before you light me up in the comments, emails, or call me, I have to have boundaries. So the two boundaries we're going to look at is what we're considering south of Dallas, really far south, because when you get too far south, if you're from the Metroplex, you no longer consider those areas a Metroplex. And if you're one of those who live really far south, well, you're proud to say, I'm not part of the Metroplex. That's why I moved here. We consider you close to the Metroplex, but not really part of it. Same with moving really far north. If you're really far north, you're close to the Metroplex, but we don't consider you part of the Metroplex. So I want to put that disclaimer out there. So as we look at the map, we can look together and not get anxious if I missed a community or a suburb that you think should be a part of it. And with that said, let's begin. To help make everything make sense, we're going to use as our center point DFW Airport, because our Dallas International Airport is where east meets west. That's where Fort Worth and Dallas meet one another. So we'll draw a little line here to make it a little bit more visually appealing so you can kind of mentally see the difference. So on the left side of the line, that's Fort Worth section of our DFW Metroplex. We consider that west. And on the right side, we consider that Dallas, which is east of the Metroplex. And I know what you may be thinking, Tracy, when I was online looking around DFW Metroplex, they also included the city of Arlington. Well, Arlington is pretty large. I mean, it can stand on its own merit. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to keep it in relationship to Fort Worth and relationship to Dallas, so that you don't think I have ignored a number of different places. If you are really far south, I mean, we're talking Midlothian. You know, some of the places are so far south of what we consider the Metroplex that you are near, but for the sake of this video, we're not going to include you as part of the Metroplex. And in this video, I'm mostly going to talk about East versus West. That is the title of the video. And we're going to go a little northeast and northwest. So now we've got that out of the way, let's focus on east of our DFW Metroplex, the east side, which is the Dallas side. I'm going to draw a circle around this to set our boundary for Dallas. So we're going to say this defines Dallas, and everything else is a suburb of sorts of Dallas. So back in the day, many years ago, if you were north of Dallas and living the suburban life, you were in Plano, because Plano was the place to be. I mean, you would see the big homes and big opportunities. Plano was booming and growing. If you didn't go as far out as Plano, and maybe your money was not as fluid, or you didn't have the wealth of Plano, you would have landed in Richardson, or going east, which was a little bit more affordable, was the city of Garland. Well, just like any other city, any other suburbs, those get a little older and people want things that are newer. There's no sense in kidding ourselves. People like new and shiny. People are thinking about moving east. When I hear them ask about these particular suburbs, the ones that I hear most often are Rockwall or Rowlett. Remember, Rockwall is where you're going to cross over Lake Ray Hubbard coming home. Chances are on a daily basis, or whatever your activities are, you have a lot of options and choices there. If lake life is your life, then Lake Ray Hubbard, you will see either traveling back and forth to work, from play, enjoying yourself. You will be able to see those beautiful views. Now, here's the thing. You're not going to necessarily live on the lake unless you have lake life money. Ka-ching! Especially if it's a newer home that's been refurbished, because those homes have been around a while. The lake wasn't just built and created 5 years ago. So those homes are older. So you can buy homes that are near the lake, but chances are you're going to live a little bit farther away from the lake. The Rockwall is known as the live music capital of North Texas. Big pull for living in Rockwall, other than the beautiful homes that you can get there, are the schools. Rockwall ISD receives a grade of an A from niche.com. So your student will be in really good hands in Rockwall schools. Rockwall is more affordable than some of our more popular areas, cities, and suburbs throughout our DFW Metroplex. So people are finding Rockwall again. It's like they're rediscovering Rockwall and living there. Close to Rockwall is Rowlett. Now, Rowlett is very near to Garland, and the two popular areas around Rowlett are Heath and Fate. So Rowlett, Heath, Fate, those areas a little bit, in many occasions, many instances, more affordable than some of the areas in Rockwall. But you're going to have a really great education opportunity for your students. If you're in Heath or Fate, right around in there, your student's going to go to Rockwall. Remember, they got an A. If you're in Rowlett, your student may attend Garland schools. So if you have a question about that, we want to make sure we get together, make sure you're in the right place. Rowlett, in my opinion, is not as pretty, especially some of the Heath and Fate, as you can find in Rockwall, because it's more flat. It's more flat land. And I know you're going to comment if you live there, but it's still a great place to live. I'm just comparing what you will see aesthetically compared to some of the other areas. So, I mean, I have friends and family who live in Heath and Fate, so I'm not criticizing those areas, but part of my purpose here is to kind of give you a little snapshot of what it's like and what you may see and enjoy in these areas. Well, before we move north of Plano and a little west of Plano, I wanted to just let you know about the types of homes that you can choose living, whether it's east or west. Okay, we are living in a metroplex. We're not moving across state lines. So the homes are going to look fairly similar. You can have homes that are stucco, brick. You want the modern farmhouse. You want more of a traditional home. You're going to be able to find those homes wherever part of the metroplex you choose. Don't worry about you're going to have a certain home if you choose the Dallas side versus if you choose Fort Worth side. You're going to have a beautiful home. You're not going to have a basement opportunity on one side of the metroplex than the other. chances are you're not going to get a basement in Texas. Especially not DFW Metroplex. So certain things you can just kind of take a breath and relax and not focus so much on your particular home. My purpose of this video is to kind of give you a little sneak peek, little snippet of how people live or how these areas are different, so you can kind of have a better idea of which part of the Metroplex that you want to live. Moving farther north, we're going to hit our next suburbs that are the hot places to live, and we're going to begin with Frisco. Traveling about 30 miles north of Dallas, you will find the city of Frisco. Frisco is home to more than 232,000 people. Now that's a large suburb place city for people to live. And what's drawing people to Frisco? Well, I thought you'd never ask. Frisco is a sports city, USA, because of all of its many attractions. For example, the PGA of America. Oh, and there's also the Omni PGA Frisco Resort, the Dallas Cowboys practice field, the Ford Center at the Star. You have the Toyota Stadium, home to FC Dallas if you like soccer. And you have the Dallas Stars, the Texas Legend, all at Comerica Center. Frisco Rough Riders, if you like baseball, the AA, affiliate to the Texas Rangers. The Rough Riders has their own stadium there. And here's something you may not be aware of. Frisco is also home to the National Video Game Museum. One last real attraction, I think really popular, is underway, breaking ground, and that's Universal Kid Resort. So that's going to pull a lot of people there to live, enjoy, and explore. So what does that mean? It's gonna be really busy, it's really dense, and there are a lot of people there. And to live in Frisco, to call Frisco home, you will pay a premium for that zip code. And students who live in Frisco will attend Frisco Independent School District, earning a grade of A+. Frisco is a really popular place, home to many celebrities, and it's gotten very expensive. In fact, many people believe that Frisco has outpaced their budget. So they've decided to move farther north to the popular city of Prosper. Prosper is about 9 miles from Frisco. And let's put things in perspective. Remember, Frisco had over 232,000 people, where Prosper has around 43,000 people. So you have quite a bit difference in the size of the population of these two cities. Prosper is a little bit more rural. It's a little bit farther north, but Prosper is a thriving place. There's so much to do in Prosper. Prosper is known for its luxurious homes and large properties. There are over 600 acres of parks, creeks, lakes. Prosper has over 30 miles of hike and bike trails. And it's just really, really beautiful scenery there. Guess what? Prosper is starting to get more and more expensive. Prosper is beautiful. They have Windstone Ranch out in Prosper, where you can have a lagoon in your community. So Prosper is a great place. It's gotten kind of unaffordable for many people. So people have decided to move even farther north: Salina, Melissa, Anna. But who cares how far north you are? Because you get in your car and you drive to Frisco, drive to Dallas, and enjoy all there is to enjoy, see, and explore in our DFW Metroplex. Now, let's shift gears and head west. Now, let's take a pause for our station identification. Hi, I'm Tracy Sorrell with the DFW Life, and I help people just like you sell and buy homes in and around our Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. And I realize you can find out quite a bit online: bedrooms, baths, square feet, price. But what you may not be able to discover is how people really live their lives in our different communities, cities, and suburbs. Well, that's where I come in. I hop in the car and I drive around so you can have the bird's eye view, VIP access of how people really live their lives. And if you like to be in the know, then you're going to want to subscribe below, press the bell. You'll be notified anytime anything goes down around town. And don't forget, give us a thumbs up. Now, back to the video. Going west of our DFW International Airport is what we consider the Fort Worth side of our Metroplex. So let's focus on what I'm hearing people are interested in living and going to build their new lives. What suburbs are really attracting people? And we can start with some of our more established suburbs, which would be the Colleyville, Keller, Southlake, Trophy Club, Alliance. But some of the challenges that people are finding when they relocate and move around our Metroplex is that those areas are landlocked. Now you can get some beautiful homes there, no doubt about it. And many people feel as though they can get more for their money in Haslet or Justin, Texas. Many people have just flocked to Haslet because they wanted more room, more space, better price for homes than they were finding in some of our other suburbs. So Haslet has boomed over the last several years. You can get brand new construction. You can also get home with acreage. You can have your horses out there. You can do quite a bit in Haslet. And depending on where you are in Haslet, you are conveniently located near I-35 West. Now, some people really don't get the difference between Haslet and Justin because they are very close to one another and very similar. Similar in the type of home that you can purchase, build, or similar in the type of really environment, lifestyle. Justin is going to have a little bit more remote, rural, country feel because Haslet is closer to Fort Worth. So if you're really like Tracy, I don't care about conveniences, I don't want anything to do with busy, then Justin may be the place for you. And if you live in Haslet or Justin, your students will attend Northwest ISD. Moving farther north, you will have the suburbs of Argyle and Northlake. They're very close to one another. Both Northlake and Argyle, they are growing, they are developing. You can find premier planned communities. Frankly, you can find premier planned communities, you know, the multiple swimming pools, sports courts, state-of-the-art amenity center throughout our DFW Metroplex. If you live in Argyle, your students will attend Argyle ISD receiving a grade of A+. If you live in Northlake, your students will attend Northwest ISD receiving a grade of an A. In some of those communities, in Northlake or in Argyle, you can be in one community and your student can go to different schools depending on where those boundaries are within the community. For example, in Canyon Falls falls into 3 different jurisdictions and students go to 2 different school districts. Likewise with Harvest, your student can go to 2 different school districts. So we will see that, fairly often. So that's why we're going to, do that one-on-one consultation. So we make sure you buy the house in the correct school district. And even if you don't have children, schools matter big time. People like Northlake and people like Argyle because it's farther north. It's very close to Denton, and Denton, really nice, quaint downtown, walkable downtown, historic downtown to enjoy. And if you live in Northlake, Argyle, you are less than an hour's drive to the state of Oklahoma. And on the other side of Oklahoma, you're going to hit WinStar Casino, where of course, you're going to go and enjoy the buffets and the shows. And if so happen you find yourself in the casino, whatever happens at the casino stays at the casino. And then you're going to cross back over to the great state of Texas and enjoy your home. And the final 2 on the west side of our DFW Metroplex, and this is really going far west, so it's kind of borderline, would be Haslet and Aledo. The people of Haslet live very close to Eagle Mountain Lake. Haslet is about 17 miles from Fort Worth with a population of about 15,000 people. So it's a small community, city or suburb, especially compared to some of our larger ones. You could probably find a really affordable home in Haslet. From all the other west suburbs that we discussed, Haslet is going to be your most affordable. Haslet is diverse. You're going to find a home on a very modest sized lot, or you can find a home on a very large lot, just like any of our communities. So although you can probably get a pretty good home around $400,000 in Haslet, a nice modest home, you can also pay more than $1 million to live in Haslet. And even farther west than Haslet, and some would say, Tracy, you saved the best of the West last, and that's Aledo, Texas. Aledo is where you really get to see some of the beauty of our land. It's almost like you're going toward Texas Hill Country. The topography, the terrain, the hills. It is so beautiful when you go to Aledo section. Aledo is very close to Lake Weatherford, just a short drive and you're there. Aledo schools, well, they're bragging. They've received an A for their school report card. And in Aledo, you have a really nice diversity of homes that you can choose from, whether it's a new home, a pre-owned home, whether it's on multiple acreage or in a premier planned community. There's so many nice communities in Aledo. I don't even want to start listing them off because I know I'm going to miss a lot because there's just so many nice ones. And what I like about Aledo is that your home does not sit on flat land. And honestly, in many of our communities west, you have homes in communities where they have hills and elevation. So if you like that, then you might want to focus west of our Metroplex. Now, Aledo is going to feel really small to many people. Aledo has about 7,000 people calling it home. Now, some of you say no more. That's exactly what you're looking for. So comment and let me know, and let's figure out which community in Aledo, AlO, Argyle, Northlake, Justin, or Haslet that you might want to call home. You really can't go wrong. East versus west, it depends on your lifestyle and what you want. If you're on the west side, that's our Western culture. You're close to Fort Worth. Fort Worth is where we celebrate our Western heritage. Real live cowboys that you're going to see. I mean, you're in Texas, you're going to see live cowboys everywhere. And Fort Worth is where we have the rodeo, the stockyards, and a lot of Western culture there and sophistication. East is Dallas. I mean, Dallas is Dallas. It's fast, it's metropolitan, it's cosmopolitan. Anything you want, you can explore on the east side. But honestly, many people would rather drive to Dallas and go home to where it's a little bit slower pace. The homes are going to look very similar. You're in Texas. It's not like you've crossed over to a different state where the landscape is so totally different that you're going to find a home on one side that you can't find on the other. You're going to be able to find the same homes, hop in your car and drive to Fort Worth or drive to Dallas. You don't have to live right there in those cities, and just enjoy your life. So hopefully this gave you a little idea of the differences between the popular suburbs that I'm hearing that people are interested in when they're deciding to relocate to our DFW Metroplex. Hi, I'm Tracy Sorrell with the DFW Life, and I help people just like you sell, buy homes, and relocate in and around our Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. And I realize this was not one of our fun videos where we tour a bunch of houses, but it gives you an idea of where you might want to land once you get here. Because whatever home you pick, we can get that home wherever you decide to go. But you can't change where you live. You can't change your neighbors and all the other details when you're looking for a home. You can't change certain things. So if you're thinking about relocating and moving in and around our Metroplex, and you're not quite sure east, west, which one is best, then comment below, grab one of those one-on-one consultation links so we can really uncover what's important to you. So you can determine which part of the Metroplex is the best place for you to create your new memories and call home.